So, hello everybody. We have another testimony from the Ascend program, and here's my friend David Lee. So, hi David.
Hello.
Thanks for coming and uh, being able to share your testimony. I'm sure it'll help many people. So, to get into it, what inspired you to join High Noon and join Ascend in the beginning?
What inspired me to join High Noon? I think personally for me, um, I guess the journey's been like kind of up and down. In the initially, I joined High Noon because I knew it was good for me, but the purpose was a little bit unclear. And so it was kind of like I wasn't super motivated to kind of join the calls and stuff like that. But since I've been here for I think almost 3 or 4 years now, um, I think I'm starting to realize like I joined the reason of why I joined High Noon in the first place, and I think ultimately it's like although sexual integrity is integrated onto the program, I really felt like it gave me kind of like key points to help me kind of grow myself and kind of create the life that I want to create. And yeah, and such as like being honest and learning how to communicate, learning how to um, overcome challenges and digesting experiences, controlling your emotions and things like that. I really felt like all those points kind of helped me kind of grow myself as a person itself and kind of also to really discover like who I am really like why am I so unique compared to other people, why am I the person I am today, and kind of always learning more about myself through kind of learning about my sexual integrity. um and so yeah, obviously my goal is to like overcome porn and masturbation, but I think High Noon kind of provides so much more than just being able to do that. And it's basically to create the life that you want. And so I think that's kind of like the reason why I joined and continue to join, because I can really feel the amount of growth that I feel within myself. I know that I feel like I'm learning so much. So yeah, that's kind of like why I wanted to join, what inspired me to join High Noon.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, you already like more deeply into it, like why you join again and again, right? And going beyond sexual integrity, also creating the who you want to be. It's pretty cool. And you already started sharing about it, but about challenges you had to face. Um, do you want to go a little bit more into detail, like what challenges you had to face or how you
Yeah.
faced them during ascent?
Yeah. So I guess there was like two main challenges that kind of went through as I was joining High Noon. I think the first thing was kind of realizing that High Noon is not the person that will make you be the person that you will become, but it's definitely like the effort that you make to become the person that you want. Because High Noon is the one that provides the tools and like the environment to kind of create that support group, but they're not the main people to kind of help change your life. It's basically you and your effort. And I think in the beginning, that's how I felt. Like I kind of had this mindset, like, oh, High Noon's supposed to change everything, like changing myself and like my the way I am. High Noon's supposed to help me overcome porn and masturbation, but nothing's really happening, stuff like that. Like I had these thoughts in my head throughout the beginning. But then I think as I went through it, it's kind of like I realized like, High Noon can't change my life. I'm supposed to be the one to kind of take responsibility in that. And like High Noon is the ones that really helped me to provide that environment and support. And so I think that's one of the challenges that I went through. And I guess another one was so I compare myself a lot, especially in the beginning, in terms of like people's growth and people's journey on their sexual integrity. And actually sometimes that would kind of bring me down, rather than to learn and see what they're doing to that I can apply with myself. And I feel like because of that, it kind of went like backfired in a sense of like my own growth. It stunted my growth and kind of being able to look more in the selfish side of myself. Like And so yeah, but I think as time went on, I think I learned a lot more about like forgiving myself and learning a lot more about that kind of things to the point where I kind of am so grateful that there are people who are ahead of that journey because I have so much more to learn from them and kind of be able to see like what points they're doing to kind of help me kind of grow myself as a person and try new things and stuff like that. So I think those were the two challenges I was kind of going through as I went through High Noon. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think it's two not uncommon challenges. So I hope this is helpful for others to hear. Um, so considering this, you already mentioned a little bit, but what has been turning points for you in the program, and how were you able to grow, overcome, and heal throughout the sense?
Yeah, I think current turning points for me I felt like was the moment where I overcame or I started to learn more about overcoming that first challenge I was talking about. Um that it's my efforts that really help to grow yourself as a person or learn more, understand more about yourself. And so I guess this past year, I think, especially starting in the spring semester of the High Noon quarter, I think that was one of the main turning points. I really felt like was kind of like a switch. It turned on a switch. Um, Initially, I was like, I felt like I still had that mindset of depending on High Noon to help me change, or like kind of fully putting 100% reliance on High Noon, but not really putting any of my effort. But then I think this time around, I think when I decided to, put more like of the daily check-ins and then like being able to kind of put more effort into like High Noon. I think that's when I started to realize like I'm the one that changes my own destiny, and like I can't just rely on other people all the time to kind of get what I want or expect what I want. But it's ultimately up to me to decide like if I want to grow or not. And that depends on like what efforts I'm making behind it. And I felt like when I was when I decided to, kind of like a mindset of, if this if if I put my full effort and nothing changes, then that means something's wrong with the program. Obviously, nothing's wrong with the program, but I think it's kind of like that effort of like if I put my full effort and nothing happens, then that's not my fault. But if I put my full effort and something does happen to me, then I'm the one that changes, and I think that that made me kind of put more effort into like this semester. And so once I tried that, like okay, I'm gonna do my daily check-ins. I'm gonna continuously follow my action steps. I'm gonna like kind of connect with people in a more deeper in a more deeper way. And when I tried all those things and really dug deep within my emotions, I realized like yeah, this sexual integrity thing, like if I want that kind of life, then I have to be the one to really change that and like kind of put full effort onto it. That was kind of like that changing point. And ever since then, I feel like I've been only feeling growth, even when I feel challenges or even when I do like happen to slip and stuff like that. Like I feel like I see everything more as like a learning experience rather than like, oh, I failed or that I succeeded. Like everything that I go through is like as long as I put my full effort to understand like what's going on and digesting those experiences, then like I feel like I was always able to kind of learn something new about myself or helping to control my emotions and stuff like that. So I think that was kind of like my changing point when I kind of like decided to like put more effort, not like put like 50%, but more of like my 100% effort. So that was kind of like my changing point.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Would you say, just to make the differentiation clear, that Hainum provided you with an environment, with like support environment and support people and groups, and you were emphasizing it too much and trying only to rely on the environment and without taking enough in ownership, and that changed for you later, that you realized the environment without your ownership won't help you as much?
Yeah, yeah. That was the point what I was explaining. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And now that, well, another quarter of a sen is ended and a new one is starting, where are you at now? Like, what has changed for you after having gone through multiple cycles of a sen?
Yeah. Um, I think where I'm at now is kind of like an excitement feeling of like, wow, like I'm excited to continue my own growth kind of feeling. Because every time I was in a high noon quarter, I feel like each time I've been more and more, I guess, happier with myself, more seeing more self-value within myself. Even in the beginning, I didn't really see it that much. I was like kind of going through the motions and stuff like that. But I think once as I went on through high noon, I think I started to get like more and more like excited, like oh, with joining the calls and working on myself and stuff like that. And I guess like where I'm at right now is kind of like that feeling of excitement, like of oh, like I wonder where I'm gonna go now from this high noon quarter. Kind of like the feeling of enjoying the process, it would feel like, rather than just like feeling so obligated to go through like that high noon process or like feeling like crap every time I slip or like make a mistake with my life. I feel like I have the mindset to change those sad or negative experiences into positive ones, which makes life so much more exciting for myself. I don't know, it makes me feel like I have so much like power or like power to kind of change my life in a sense. Um, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I feel like I'm kind of like I came off of a carp workshop, so I think I'm kind of in a little bit more like positive mood than normal. But like I think the feeling the I guess like makes me feel excited. Like obviously I'm not in the perfect state right now. Like I didn't completely overcome like masturbation and pornography yet, but I feel like so much more hope within myself, so much more value, and like I guess overall like happier as a person. So yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. Very exciting for myself.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. That's really cool. I guess in the end, what is something that you would like to tell other people who are on the edge of deciding whether to join High Noon or not?
For me, I would say for those who are on the edge, like jump it. If it's your first time or second time or whatever, I think just to try it. And I feel like, and obviously, like if you join it, then whatever effort that you put in is whatever brings back to you. So honestly, like high noon's there, provided the environment's there, but it's honestly really up to you to see how much effort that you're putting into the program. Um, and yeah, and especially if it's for people that's their first time, like be having like be open about it or like jump at least like try it for like one quarter and see how it is. And then in the end, you can kind of evaluate like, oh, is this actually good for me or did I actually grow? Did I actually try? Stuff like that. And you can see like if you want to join again and stuff like that. So I would just say to jump it and like at least once and then see how it is for you. Check in with yourself.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much. And I have what I'm also curious about is because you haven't only participated in Ascent, but you've also participated in Core recently, right? And so I wanted to ask, how was your experience in Core, which is a marriage prep program? How are you able to grow and see yourself grow participating in Core or facilitating for Core, right? Because you were a facilitator of Core.
Yeah, it was my first time facilitating for core. I guess that overall experience, I guess one challenge that I did face was kind of like the second challenge that I was talking about earlier, where I was kind of like comparing people's journey in their faith in or sexual integrity. I think everybody was more ahead in terms of sexual integrity, like they were having less slips and stuff like that compared to myself, and that was like with everybody across the board. I was like I was kind of like a little bit sad actually, like I felt like because of that it kind of brought me down a little bit, like my values, like I couldn't see my values anymore, like my God-given values anymore. But I think as I went through that program, I kind of like thought about it and reflected about it, like kind of like why are these people here in my group compared to like different people in my group, or different people in the core group, and I was kind of thinking about it, and I think one thing I realized was that because everybody is more ahead of me, like there's so much more I could learn from everybody else. Like how are they feeling? Like what are they going through right now? Like what actions are they doing to really help them to become who they are now? And like I think that was kind of like a changing point for me to really see like everybody as like I can learn from somebody. And like there's so much like blessings behind people being ahead of me because like these are things that I can actually like apply in my own life and try out myself. And I guess like overcoming that challenge, I think it helped to kind of become a better facilitator for myself and like kind of see facilitating not as like a way to like create or like kind of take responsibility, but like a more opportunity for growth, kind of see like how people are doing and stuff. And like I guess that kind of made the experience so much more of like a blessing to me or like such an amazing experience because like the discussions that we would have and like how much like it goes into like core of the universe and like how much blessing prep there is with like the videos and content. um it it makes me feel so free or so much more hopeful in preparing for the matching and the blessing, which is one of my priorities in my life at the moment. And like I feel like with the people that are kind of like having like the same mindset of looking for the one or like kind of helping themselves through the process and stuff like that, I feel so like free to kind of share my own situation and like feel so much more like vulnerable to kind of like talk about these things that I don't normally talk about. And like I don't know, it just overall like that feeling, the experience of core kind of made me feel so much more free, like so much more at like peace because I know that there are other brothers going through like similar or different situations, but we're all striving for the same goal, which makes me feel so free to kind of like share. And yeah, I think that experience of core kind of made me feel so free and like excited for the like the matching and the blessing and like kind of seeing other people's growth behind it. Um so yeah, kind of like my experience in core.
Yeah, thanks. That's really great. What is something new that you were able to learn, I guess, um, in regards to preparing for matching marriage blessing?
Matching and marriage blessing. I think so conceptually I understood that the matching and the blessing process is a journey. I think when I was talking to like the brothers in my group and when I was learning as time went on, and connected with people outside of the group, I think one thing I realized like nothing in the matching and blessing process is a mistake or like a choice that you made might be a regret. Um, I think everything that you go through in the matching and the blessing process is kind of like it's all for your own growth. And I think that's something I realized when I was going through like the matching and the blessing. Or I guess that journey within core too. And I think kind of seeing more of like the journey as like more of like a growing process kind of helped me understand that kind of made me more excited with like the journey itself. Rather than just like feeling negative because one conversation didn't go well or like um I'm searching and I can't find the person that I want or the people are rejecting me or stuff like that. That doesn't really bother me anymore because I know that each experience that I go through is going to be a learning curve. It's going to be everything I can grow from it. I can learn more about myself and I think that's what makes the journey exciting because although I'm kind of focusing on the objective to find the one or become the one, searching for my future spouse or whatever, I think it the self growth comes hand in hand, and I think that's something that I really learned and experienced throughout this time at core. The main lesson here is like you can learn through everything through like the matching and the blessing journey.
Is there something new that you were able to learn about sexuality during the core program?
Yeah, the core program, sexuality, kind of learning more about how valuable the sexual organs are. Without high noon, I wouldn't really see the value of it. It would be very like a just another body part of myself. But kind of learning and reading more about like core of the universe and kind of discussing with my group, and like going through the readings, I'm starting to kind of learn a lot more about like how valuable sexual organs are, because that's kind of where you start like the family, that's where when you kind of create like a kid. And it's so there's so much more meaning behind just having, sex, but sex is so much more like heavenly than I would think it would be, especially in the world that we live in today. It's very easy to kind of see like, oh, sex is just for fun, or sex is just, just for like for your own pleasure. But like I think as I went through core, I think my mind slowly kind of like changed, and kind of makes me slowly see more and more of the value of sex, and what the sexual organs like really represent. Yeah, it kind of made me kind of see my own self as like my own values itself is more like valuable. Like, yeah, I think overall that's kind of like what I learned. Um, and yeah, I'm still reading the book, so I'm still learning myself. But I think it's definitely that's something kind of like those are some points that I feel like I gained about sexuality.
That's great. Thank you for sharing, David.